Hi, Morgan. Last time round, when we had a chat on the call, you mentioned that your team has been spending a lot of time on content creation. The team strongly believe in attracting traffic to the website and converting them onto, into becoming a lead. So that is the right way of thinking about this. As you know, inbound it revolves around content attraction from stranger to a potential lead. Okay, so I had a look at the website after the first call. I mean, you have been uploading and sharing a lot of useful content. If I may, I'd like to share a few thoughts around how you could better optimize all this content that you have spent your sweat, your blood, your all the effort on it. So let me take a step back over here and discuss about how Google, as one of the biggest search engine, has changed its way in terms of aggregating and ranking your content of your website. So it used to be keywords, as you know. The more keywords that appear on your site, on your content, and the more popular these keywords are when it comes to people searching for it, obviously the higher the ranking is going to be. But now, because people has been abusing so-called on this way of ranking content, you see a lot of what we call black hat website, where they would have a lot of similar keywords being included on one web page, and that's how they get up the rank. And Google would like to eradicate that. Hence, they have revamped their algorithm. Now they're smart enough to gauge the intent of the user, and they know exactly the meaning behind all these searches. So let me give you a real example. So I was just speaking to a travel site, and they were saying that people usually search for, for example, when they like to travel to a new place, they'll search for top 10 places to go in Singapore. So now you no longer have to have that particular phrase where you have top 10 places to visit when you come to Singapore. You actually recommend places to go to Singapore. So for example, you would be recommending restaurants, you'd be recommending Universal Studio, you'd be recommending theme park, etc., etc. So by merely just having that top 10 place to visit is no longer enough. I would say it's far from suffice. You would have to have meaningful content and recommendation and suggestion in order for your website and your content to get ranked. On that note, I've done a bit of research on the website, and again, like I said, it's nicely done when it comes to topic around high tech. You have basically a page dedicated for that, where you have video on the right hand side, which is pretty cool. All right, but what you could do is basically optimize this site a bit better. So let me show you an example of how you can do this. So in this example, in this instance, I've typed in what is retail sales training. And you see that now Google has gauged the meaning behind the search. It has gauged the intent. And it has come up with what we call a snippet, where typically people will read off this quick summary or synopsis based on the search query, and then they'll click into it. Okay, so you will see on this search results, you see retail sales training. Basically, the top 5, 6 results are being dominated by retail doc. There's something that retail doc is doing right over here that makes them so prominent on the search results. Let's dig deep into this. Let's click on one of the links over here. All right. So you can see that over here, once you type in retail sales training, it basically leads you to a web page where it basically try to resolve, whatever that particular user is trying to find out or trying to discover around retail sales training. So you could see a series of questions over here. So for example, introduction, what is retail sales training? 3 elements of retail sales training. Why is retail sales training necessary? So you see that each of these topics are interrelated to that core question or core query that you ask Google for, all right? And that makes Google, that gives Google the opportunity to detect all the content that you have written, and they can pretty much, assure the user that, hey, once you come onto this website, you'll be able to find all the answers that you like. And what is great about this web page over here, or this content over here, is it basically links you to other blog posts, all right? So this is what we call pillar content page, all right? Where it has all the possible or potential questions or related topics around the query that you have searched on Google. And then next up is basically all the related subtopics, we call it. And in this case, the subtopics are being hosted or being housed under a blog page, a blog content. When you click on one of them, it will lead you to exactly the topic or question that you like to find out of. All right. So what I'm trying to say over here is keywords is phasing out, and now how you can rank your website is hugely down to topic, and how we call it over here is topic cluster. Okay, so the first part that I'm describing to you over here is the changes that Google, or the evolution of Google search from keywords to topics for now. I give you a short, an example of how you could potentially improve your page by giving you an example of how Retail Doc is doing on specific topic and how successful they are based on the results on Google. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into our tool over here, the HubSpot tool, on topic cluster. All right. So it's very simple. As opposed to ranking your website based on keywords, now you would have a pillar content, basically a pillar topic. All right. You again using the same example over here, sales training. You will branch out to different subtopics over here. All right. So for example, how does prospecting work? How does sales management work? When to use the sales leadership? So those are all interrelated topics or content that related to that broader or overarching topic that I like to talk about. Okay. And what makes it so cool over here is what you're able to do is you'll be able to find out what is the domain authority. All right. What is the monthly search volume? What is the relevancy of that particular topic? All right. So when it comes to domain authority, it simply predict, all right, how this topic would rank on Google search engine. All right, monthly search volume is pretty self-explanatory. How popular the keyword is going to be, and how relevant this topic is to your your overarching topic. This is important. Why? As explained before, it needs to be relevant. It needs to tie back to your big topic to allow Google to basically associate topic and the subtopic, so that when someone type in that particular query, your web page or your blog content will show up. Core topic similarity, all right? How similar it is to the core topic, all right? Core topic, sorry. So we basically make this easier for you as opposed to visually try to map this out. You would have basically an interface where you're able to build up your content systematically, right? The next thing over here, all right, so you would ask me, okay, so Aaron, okay, so now that I have followed all the methodology, all the steps that you've laid out, how do I measure whether it works, right? Top executives, your directors, your bosses, all they would care about is simply ROI, all right? So as opposed to how popular that keywords has been, we make it more specific for you. So on Google Analytics, which you are familiar with, they won't tell you what topics or what terms have people key in before they come onto your webpage or before they come onto your pillar content page, all right? But on HubSpot, we provide that extra mile where you're able to, for example, taking again that retail sales training example, you'll be able to find out how many sessions have you generated on that page, all right? What keywords has led them to that page, and this is a classic example over here. and how many new contacts have you generated out of it, and how many customers, most importantly, have you create out of this topic. Again, this ties back to the underlying results over here, where it tells you how many customers have you converted, and you can go again that extra layer where you know what topic, what page have people click into before they become your customer. All right. So this is pretty much how Topic Cluster, how Google has evolutionized its keyword ranking. Okay, we have got a few good examples on how, for example, a security firm that have been working with us, how they have revolutionized their content strategy using HubSpot, and they basically have increased their organic traffic, by 55%, and subsequently they have grown their leads by 80%. So this is pretty much it. I've given you the brief background on how Google has changed, an example on how keywords are no longer legitimate, and it has shifted to Topic Cluster, where you have to focus on what people are searching for and solving for people, and you should be creating a pillar page like what I've shown you earlier, resolving all related or all associated questions around that topic that people are searching for. Again, I like to emphasize and stress over here, keywords that you put in, Google might not actually aggregate that content based on that keywords anymore. It will go beyond that. It will try to identify the meaning of it. It will try to identify the context of it, because it can now basically understand the intent behind it. Hence, keywords is no longer valid. And furthermore, on HubSpot, you'll be able to analyze the ROI from all this Topic Cluster, and also using HubSpot tool to map out your content, your pillar content, your subtopic content, to optimize and maximize your results. And basically, you do not want your content team to spend a whole lot of time creating content that might not generate any results or any traffic. You like to basically optimize your time on content that will generate traffic and leads for you. All right, thank you very much, Morgan. Cheers, take care.